Heat signature. Hot tips.
Jammers. Jammers are one of the 4 new mercenaries added in the Space Birthday update. Like all mercenaries, their equipment is fixed. It doesn't change based on faction or any other equipment that the ship might have generated. And if you start a ship with jammers on board, so you pick up a mission which has a mercenary contract, then they will appear as just replacements for regular members of a pod. So you can see here, this jammer is part of this group of guards that spawned. And jammers are pretty straightforward. They roam the ship regardless of what's happening, and they place jamming fields. So jamming fields prevent you from using any abilities. If you run in here like running with a stealth field or any other like sustained use item, it will immediately stop. And similarly, you can't use items within this field. For example, if I go in here, I can't actually crash anything. It doesn't consume a charge, it just doesn't work. So that's a problem for you. Now you can manually deactivate these. So you just walk up and you press the deactivate button and then it stops working. No problem. But of course you need to manually get there. And the jammer doesn't have to place it in an area you can get to. So, for example, he'll place one over here in an area I can't reach. So, that's inconvenient for me, sure, but that's fine. Jammers used to make sure that they did not overlap any fields. Now they do definitely do that, but they also used to make sure there were no gaps in their jamming fields. Now, they will naturally leave the occasional gap here and there, which is kind of useful. The other thing you should know about jammers and jamming fields is they can be subverted. Now, this isn't that useful if you've got a short range beam, so my back door here, I can subvert doors and things from outside it. I can subvert things within the field, but I can't reach the main target here. But on the other hand, if I do have something that's extreme range or long range from a direct line, I can reach it. And a subverted jammer device crashes every enemy within the field. So not only does my stuff work here, but their things don't. So that's very useful to know. Now, the last piece of this puzzle is a subverted jammer will place a subverted jamming device. Unfortunately, they'll only ever place one, because a crashed jammer will not place any devices at all. So you can see that Predator just got crashed because this actually is sustained. It's also worth noting that jamming fields do not impact doors, and they do not impact sentry guns. They also cause us problems with anything else. And jamming fields don't prevent you from using, say, a grenade launcher or a gun or a sword, because those aren't devices. And you can also see that despite the fact that I did alert these guards when I subverted this gun, and this gun was not crashed, they didn't raise the alarm because they were crashed. This is super handy. And this is long range, so you can see I can reach that and I can crash them. So this jam has been crashed, and so a crashed jammer just ends up searching the same way that any other guard would. Jammers have probably what I would say is the poorest gear of any merc. They just carry guns. Regular, loud guns. On the other hand, it's a source for a loud gun, which is useful at times, but that's it. One last thing about jamming devices. They block teleportation. Not only do they block teleportation, they kick you out into space. So with the Visitor, not that big a deal. In fact, it can be an interesting temporary juke. And sometimes this is quite useful if you're like in a hurry and you need to get out and you need a quick escape. If you happen to have a swapper, you can try and use it on a guard that's in a field. So like so, and then boom, I'm in space. I need to get retrieved. I'm actually moving at about the same speed as the ship, so that's useful-ish. But the other thing that's worth noting about this is you have to be going into a field. You can't be inside a field, so I can't teleport at all if I happen to be in the field right now. And yes, the field will cover your pod. So if you happen to be docked, then that will work badly for you.